All right, y'all. We are live. You already know what time it is. Give me just a minute. You already know what time it is, man. We are back here to serve some more game on the ground from Hungry Hounds. We just got off the pound and are ready for the next round. So with that being said, make sure y'all grab your snacks, your drinks, your weed, whatever the fuck the case may be. Yeah, I can say whatever the hell I want to say on this platform now, and it feels good not to have to hold my damn tongue back. So with that being said, man, we're doing something different. We're checking out Andrew Tate versus Piers Morgan highlights, best moments, whatever you want to call it. I got it pulled up on my laptop right here. Unfortunately, y'all won't be able to see the video on the live stream right now, but when it gets re-uploaded, then you will be able to see it. So if you're catching this live, you are catching my live reaction. But later on, it won't be no live reaction when it gets re-uploaded. And when it gets re-uploaded, you'll be able to see the video in the little corner of the screen. But with that being said, man, we're gonna go ahead and jump right into this. I don't know if we'll watch the whole thing or just some of it. We'll get into all that later. So with that being said, man, 3, 2, 1, go.
Even the idea that I don't believe in these things
I
is
didn't ask you if
crazy.
you believed in it. I asked you if you were going to get married.
One day, absolutely.
You'd like to.
If I'm not married already, I will be married one day. If I'm not,
Well, you might be secretly married.
I could be married, correct.
Why would you not tell me either way?
Why would I advertise to the feral psychopaths of the world who have tried their very best to destroy me for an opinion about my private life and the things that are most sacred to me? Why
Well, you
would I
think
do
if
that?
you said you were married, everyone would hate you?
I don't know why people hate me. It's about me understanding that I'm a hard target, but I am very, very protective of the people I care about.
Right. But you believe in the concept of marriage.
Completely. That's what we were talking about the whole time.
What do you think?
We talked about a man giving a woman away.
Okay.
I believe in marriage more than anybody.
But
In
here's
fact,
my-
I believe in marriage in, no, please. I
Okay.
believe in marriage in the traditional sense. I believe a man has a duty to stand up and be a real man. I believe that the problem with the world today that we are facing is that not enough men are sticking to the age-old ways of masculinity. I believe that me standing up and saying a man must protect a woman and provide for her, so he needs to make sure that she's safe. He needs a degree of authority to
I have
protect
no
her.
problem with.
But people do have a problem with it.
I'm
and
not sorry.
And that's the world we're in now.
Andrew, I'm over here.
Sure.
I don't have a problem with what you just said. Here's where my problem comes, right? There are a lot of clips of you floating around on the internet, as you know. One of them has you saying, bang out the machete, boom in her face, grip her by the neck, shut up, bitch. In another, you say, slap, grab, choke, shut up, bitch, sex. When people see those clips and hear you say
Understand
those
them.
things,
Agreed.
well, I don't think that.
There's a whole bunch of men in the world who understands my value, and if men grow up to be like me, you're gonna have a whole bunch of people with no criminal record, dedicated athletes, who protect and provide for the people close to them, are fantastic for the economy, and I'm certainly not the worst influence out here, Piers. You have Little Nas twerking on the devil on music videos, which are
Yeah, man, that's something that I always thought was crazy is how, but it's not surprising either how they advertise stuff like that to children these days. They market it towards children. And if you realize, if you look back and see, he was originally advertised towards a younger audience, the younger generation, young kids who like to listen to his music, who like to watch his music videos and all that. And then he just like went off the deep end, so to speak, just like all these other celebrities, with what's her face, Selena Gomez and Miley Cyrus. It was all targeted towards younger audiences. Then they just went off the deep end, good girls gone wild, so to speak. And it's insane. And they do that on purpose to get the younger audience hooked. That way they stay coming back to see more and more of that person. And they see that person acting out and acting a fool. Well, guess what? Now they're going to act out and act a fool. That's what they want. They want to divide the house. They want to divide the household. They push, younger females, younger women to go out and get a high body count, do whatever the fuck it is, with Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion and all these other stupid ass artists and shit. They advertise that so that they sleep around with a whole bunch of dudes. Next thing you know, they get pregnant with an ain't shit nobody deadbeat dad, and he gone. Guess what? Now she raising that child on her own. Well, what's something that can distract your child while you at work? I don't know. Technology, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff. It's all planned. It's all planned to divide the household. Crazy.
Children are digesting. You have drill artists singing about stabbing people to death in the middle of a knife crime epidemic. You have rabid psychopaths on whether the right or the left announcing violence on the other side. You have all these insanities in the world. And because I sit here and say, yeah, perhaps. Now you've laid it out and it offended you, I understand.
I didn't say it offended.
Okay, cool.
I just read you the things.
You read things that you said they could be offensive and some people are offended.
Well, some people definitely were offended.
Absolutely. That's fine.
And honestly, I think some of the things you said were genuinely.
This is another thing I never understood. Is if somebody says something that offends you on social media, why do you still go back to watching? If you hear somebody or see somebody on the internet that says something that you genuinely feel disrespected by, what good does it feel? Ooh, I'm going to go back and watch him again and see what else he said. Like, what sense does that? I never understood that. What sense does that make? Can somebody please answer me that? What sense does that make for you to sit here and say that you're going to go back and watch somebody who previously offended you? And then you think that you're going to run to the little comment section and leave your little nasty comment about how badly you were offended, how your feelings were hurt, and this, that, and the third. And it's just, you think you'd be doing something, but you're really not. The only thing that you're doing is raising the numbers up even more. That's all it really is. It's goofy as hell, but y'all be goofy as fuck.
Offensive and misogynist.
Okay, so they offended you. Like I said earlier, so they offended you, which is fine. I said they offended you, you interrupted me, and now you're saying they offended you, which is fine. But the point I'm trying to make is this: I'm not the devil. There are certainly worse people than me, and they exist. Core tenets for the people who don't understand me are self-accountability, so I'm accountable for everything I've ever said. My core tenets are responsibility, so I'm responsible for everything I've said. My core tenets are traditional masculinity to a degree, which involves protecting and providing for women. And I'll make another point here that needs to be said. The number of women who have stood up and stuck up for me is ignored. Thousands of women are making videos saying, I've met Andrew Tate, he's such a nice guy. I wish I had a man like Andrew Tate who felt responsible to protect and provide for me. You know what? I do belong to my husband, that's why I married him and I love him. We ignore the thousands of...
Yeah, you know why they ignored the thousands of females who actually stick up for him and agree with what he says is because it goes against the narrative of the powers that be. See, this is the thing, it's an attack on masculinity. They're trying to do everything that they can to separate men from women, men from masculinity, women from femininity. They want men to be feminine and females to be masculine. They want men to be fucking transgenders and females to be more masculine and try to take on the male role in life. And it just don't work like that, bro. It does not work like that. And it's failed. It has failed miserably. And that's 100% facts and not opinion.
Of women who stood up and stood by me and said everything I said is true. And we're taking a very vocal minority who have taken things I've said and are pretending to be absolutely and utterly devastated by them for some reason.
All right. Time out.
Sure.
You've had a good phase. Grip her by the neck. Shut up, bitch. In another, you say slap, grab, choke, shut up, bitch, sex. When people see those clips and hear you say those things...
Agreed.
Well, I don't think that... It's not hard to misunderstand it.
It is.
You might say that it's consensual. Other people would say, whether it's consensual or not, that's a very ugly way to talk about women.
Completely. Now let's
hitting them with machetes.
No, watch the whole video. It's a girl coming at me with a machete and me saying, here, slap the machete out of her hand. She's attacking me. So you don't understand. This is
There's another thing that they love to do, which is take videos and words straight out of context. That way they can twist it up to their own narrative. They love to do that. That is their favorite thing to do. They do that with everything that they possibly can to destroy somebody who has such a high following who's not controlled by them. And if you are controlled by them and you say and you start doing quote unquote what a man is supposed to do, guess what? They gonna cancel your ass. They gonna blackball your ass. They gonna destroy your whole career. They blackmail you by saying, ooh, well, we got you on camera doing this, that, and the third, so if you say or do anything that we don't want you to do, you're going bye-bye. That's what they do. That's their favorite, that's their go-to move, is to twist words out of context. People don't be watching no full videos. This is another thing that I would say is the short form content, while it may be good for, certain monetization and shit like that, it can also be very bad because people chop things up a lot. They chop up videos, put different sound bites together, different clips of the same video together to make it look like that's what they said, but it's not. That's dangerous.
Exact point.
I do understand.
No, people don't watch them in full. And this is actually what's interesting. And please don't interrupt me on this point. Social media has changed in modern times. YouTube 5 years ago was 5, 6, 7, 8 minute long videos. Now we have TikTok, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, YouTube shorts, Instagram stories. Now anything you produce that's long form is cut down to very, very short form. They're interested in clicks, they're interested in engagement. They find the most controversial clips they can on purpose.
Didn't I just say that? Didn't I just say that? That is crazy, bro. But that's what they do. That's what they do. And it's not even just the powers that be. It's people. When somebody don't like someone else, what they said on social media, they go out of their way to try and get them canceled. They just let all the key shit out. All of it. Just let it go. They let it flow. And it's wild.
Bennett, given that you know it can be misunderstood, do you regret saying things like this on camera where it can be disseminated by less intelligent young males who think that is actually what they should be doing to women?
And finally, we get to the point of the issue, which is the point I tried to make at the very beginning. When I made a video before I was famous that got 500 views, me being concerned that 1% of people will misunderstand it was not relevant. Where you start getting 5 million views a video, 50 million views a video, 1% of people misunderstanding
it change what
no, it doesn't. But it becomes a much larger problem.
So
with great fame comes great responsibility.
Right.
So
I agree.
Now that I'm famous, do I say things the same way as I did back before I was famous? Absolutely not.
Right.
As neither would you or nearly any other famous person on the planet.
So
once you become famous, you have to be a lot more careful with how you say things.
I understand. So my logical follow-up to that remains: do you regret then saying it the way you said it?
I can't live in regret by saying something before I was famous on a camera which barely anybody watched, and then I became famous afterwards. That would be a very asinine way to view the world. I can't live in...
That's 100% facts, bro. What you said back then before you blew up on social media, that's just like the shit that they tried to do with Trump back when he first started running for office. I don't know how fucking long ago it was that he did that quote-unquote locker room talk or whatever all them motherfucking years ago. They try to take something from like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and throw it at your face now and try to get you canceled that way. That's some pretty wild stuff. And that goes to show you how desperate people are too. What you said back then, it might have been comedy. Did you know you were gonna blow up? No. But guess what? Nobody fucking expects to blow up on social media when they do. Nobody expects to blow up on social media when they do. So when they get on there, they're just acting a fool, acting wild, just saying some of the most egregious shit just because it's funny. You know, it's like that dark humor that people love to have. It's really all it really is. What it do.
Stand by all those things.
I can't live in regret because I didn't know I was going to become the most famous man on the planet. That regret would be the wrong word. Is it inconvenient? Sure. But I can't sit here and say, I wish I knew 6 years ago I'd be the most famous man on the planet and monitored all of my speech forever. That's asinine.
There was also, I think, quite a disturbing piece that BuzzFeed did. And it talked about the negative impact of young, impressionable male minds when they've read or seen some of the more inflammatory things you've said. And they quoted, for example, Sandy, 22, from Washington. My father's gone from a man who minored in women's studies in college, who was kind and in touch with his emotions, treated all people, men and women around him, with kindness, to a man who says that whenever he sees an effeminate male stranger, he gets an overwhelming urge to murder them. He loves podcasts. He listens to a lot of podcasts. I know he's listened to Andrew Tate.
Whoa. Let's stop for a second. Let's be professional here, Piers, because you're a professional as am I. First, she said, did you say that my father went? She said, my father has
Her father.
That's a full-grown man, firstly. So we're talking about my impact on children. You just talked about full-grown man here. Secondly, I've never talked about murdering effeminate men in anything online ever, in any context ever. So I don't know why they have taken some random person I've never met in the world who's full-grown, an adult, and come to their own conclusions who I've never met and lumped his name in with mine. That is absolutely unfair on every level.
That's another thing that people don't like is accountability for their thoughts and their actions. Your thoughts and actions, you don't understand how much of an impact they have on your everyday life. The things that you think, things that you say, you speak things into existence. You think things into existence. So when you sit around and you think about killing people, you think about murdering people all the time, guess what eventually is going to happen? It will. Might not happen right away, but at some point or another, if that's all you think about, is going to happen. Because somewhere down the road, somebody's going to do something stupid, whether it's road rage, whether somebody says something slick to you or bumps into you, whatever, and you're just going to snap just like that. Because that's all you're thinking about is snapping on somebody and killing them. You don't got nothing to do with what he said. And I can guarantee you that nothing that he's ever said has been like, he's never condoned murder towards feminine ass dudes. He's condoned being a hard ass on them, getting them to change, getting them to be more masculine and strong, but he's never condoned murdering somebody because of their femininity. That don't make no sense. And that just goes to show you how desperate people are to make somebody else look bad because they're jealous. So yeah, man, with that being said, I think I'm going to end it right there on that note. This is going to be interesting seeing how this type of content comes out. You know, I'm trying something different, so if it's cool, we're going to keep rolling with it. If it ain't, we're going to find a different way to do something else. So with that being said, man, make sure y'all share with your friends, your families, mothers, aunties, or grannies, and everybody else that y'all know. Excuse me, I had a burp and it got stuck. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Deuces.